program next year.
Yeah, they have a free version. So I think we are live. Let me check.
It looks like it from my end.
Oh, good. Oh, I did I hit the right thing? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, I did not. I hit my regular Facebook. There we go. Perfect. 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 Yay, we are live. I'll give myself a heart. Oh. Oh, this is so much fun. So, to continue with our month of gratitude, our topic today is how practicing gratitude can help reduce the anxiety and increase feelings of peace and calmness in our lives.
Mhm.
So I'm Footie coming to you live with our weekly cup of gratefulness. I have to turn my cup around.
Cute.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got my cup here, and you can't see it anymore. But it's what used to say gratitude on it, but it's a chalk thing,
oh
and I've kind of worn it off. But I'll have to put gratitude on there again. But that's what was
yeah.
written on there. So
I've seen those mugs. This one has little gold feet,
cute.
and then it has two um, feet inside the mug. And I bought a bunch of 'em at Joanne Fabrics like umpteen years ago, probably 7 years ago, I think. And I gave them away as gifts. Now I want them all back.
Yeah.
I can't do 'em now. And I thought, why didn't I think to just buy a bunch and keep them for here? Yeah, so if I gave you a mug, send it back to me.
There you go.
I know, because I love, but it's for a left-handed person because you're facing, isn't that?
Yeah.
But I don't care. So there we go. Yes, I love my mugs. I love fun mugs. Uh, so while you sip on your favorite cup of whatever it is you enjoy, please take a few seconds to think of 5 things you've been grateful for today and share one of them with us if you're watching. What you were thankful for today. Like me, I am grateful that I'm finally feeling myself after 2 weeks of being sick. I am back with the living, thank goodness.
And I got a slight cough, so maybe I
Yeah.
have.
Yes, I had that too. I had sun poisoning and I had allergy issues that had gone into a sinus infection. It's like, oh my goodness. But I'm starting to get feel like myself. I'm trying not to overdo it. I don't walk I don't do 5 miles or anything like that. I'm taking my time on that. So last week we had our lovely Sabrina Lambert. She read her gratitude story from the book Women Like Me Sharing. Um, I just realized, do I have my book right with me? No, I don't. Well, I had it with me. Oh, there you yay. Yes, and it was so this evening we have our lovely Linda Nelson who will be reading her gratitude story. And if you happen to have a copy of the book, her story is on page 55. Um, so my friend Linda has a community of solopreneurs where she inspires and motivates women who struggle with self-doubt and fear in running their businesses. And and she has an amazing Facebook group called Purpose Seekers with Linda Nelson and a podcast. At least you did have a podcast. You still have that
I
podcast.
do. Hmm.
Yes, I thought so. So Linda reminds me of sitting in church and listening to a Sunday sermon. I always feel, I really mean this, I always feel so uplifted and warm after listening to your soft voice of
Oh,
inspiration.
you're so sweet. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean, I always think of that, because you do have this very calm spoken voice, and I love that. So thank you for joining us this evening. I'm really excited, and I know others are excited to have you join us. And I'll keep my eyes on who pops on. So,
Well, thank you for having me. You and I talked earlier that, the month of November, often we're intentional about gratitude because of Thanksgiving here in the States. And it's a lovely time of the year to focus on that because we're changing seasons. And sometimes it's hard to find gratitude in the everyday when the winds are out there and it's getting colder and there's less sunshine. And we just shifted to daylight savings time. And so now it's dark, on one end of the day, soon to be darker, on the other end. And
right,
yeah, this can be a tough time for people, and so I think it's great that Thanksgiving, is in this month, and it reminds us of the importance of being grateful. And as we
exactly.
look around the world, we have so much to be grateful for here.
We
And I
do.
know most of us would say, family, and that almost goes without saying, but I think today, well, I'm blessed to be with you today. I'm
Mhm.
so amazed at the friends that I've met online, and
Yes.
you're one of those that I include in that mix. I mean, I would our paths would never cross. You're in Florida and I'm in Minnesota,
Yeah.
and yet here we are, really good friends, and we met, never personally, but online. And so
Mhm.
I'm grateful for the fact that although online and technology can cause us so much consternation sometimes, the
Yeah.
fact is, oh my gosh, the people that we've connected with, and I'm
Right.
grateful for that. So thank you for inviting me. It's been so nice to share, being authors in these books that we've been involved with the women like me community. We just learn so much through each other's stories.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
It's been fun. There's so many things I didn't know about you, Linda, and I thought, we shared so much, and yet, there's pieces of our story that we don't, always come out there wide open, but they're there, and it's a part of who we are. It's part of what makes us who we are. So,
Yes. Yes. I know. I always think about like it was from that group. It was from Lori's group.
mhm.
And it's like I never would have met all these wonderful ladies if it hadn't, if I hadn't taken that step, just to be brave and just do it.
Yeah,
And
and that's hard. It's the very first
yeah,
step that's the hardest, isn't it?
it is. It
And
really
putting yourself out there and doing something that's uncomfortable that, creates all that uncomfortableness, of stepping out of your comfort zone, but it's so rewarding when you do
it
that.
is. It is so
Yeah.
rewarding. I always say that I always felt like I was in kindergarten while you ladies were like in, elementary school. And then you guys graduated to middle school and I was just getting into elementary school. But it was a learning experience and it was great. I mean, I
Yeah.
learned a lot about myself and
Yeah.
we've all come a long way.
Oh
I
gosh.
feel,
I tell you what, a couple of years ago, I didn't even know how to spell Facebook. I didn't know how to do groups. I didn't, in fact, I laugh because my goal on Facebook was not to be seen. Like, I didn't comment, I didn't do anything because I didn't want you to know about my life at all. That was my goal, and
yeah.
I was very successful at it. And then you're having to put yourself out there with a business, and it's like, "Whoa, how do I do this now?"
Isn't that the truth? I
Yeah,
know. It's like, I always remembered when I first started with doTERRA, they were always, I don't mean doTERRA was trying to, but, our upline, they were always trying to get us to go live all the time. And I
yeah,
was always worried, like, oh my gosh, I have to be so perfect. And and then I hated it. I was like, "Oh, no, I don't like this." And now after Lori's group, it's like, "Oh my gosh, you can't get me off." It's like,
yeah,
"Oh, I have to go live? Okay, I have to go live. I need my light. have to get this."
yeah. No, that I didn't wanna do that either, Linda, I hear you, and now, I love coming live and connecting with
Yeah,
people, but
yeah,
boy, that was just not a fun experience initially, so it just shows you,
Yeah.
That growth happens in that uncomfortable, courageous zone, not in the
Yeah.
comfort zone.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You don't realize it at that moment. It's like
Mhm.
later.
Yes,
You sit back and you think, "Oh, wow," you know? Yes.
very true.
So it's been a blessing. So I'm so grateful for um going through that program. Yeah, it taught me a lot. It really prepared me for them when I was, well, I'm still in Shauna's group. So then it really helped me.
Mhm.
And again, I still felt like, oh my gosh, I'm in elementary school and these people are in high school, you know. But now I don't worry about that. It's like I now am so grateful for these people because I look at it as, oh, I have more people to learn from,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know?
that's so true.
Yeah, it's
It's all
like,
about our mindset, isn't it? When it comes right down to it. A
yeah,
lot of people think, I mean, we worry, we meaning global we, not you and me, we,
yeah,
but we worry that, "Oh, what are people gonna think? And I'm not perfect, my hair's all goofy," and, whatever, and nobody cares about that. They just want
no,
that human connection, and
yeah,
being your vulnerable self is the best thing you can do. Nobody
ex
wants to be hanging around people that are perfect, you know?
yes.
So, which works out really good for me.
Yeah, yeah, there's no perfect about me anymore, that's for sure. It's like I
Oh,
reached
honey.
that a long time ago, which was a blessing because, when you try to be perfect all the time, that's tiring.
Yes, it is.
That's tiring. And so once I allowed that, like, gave myself permission
Mhm,
to just, okay, I don't need that anymore. That
mhm.
can be over there. And yeah, absolutely. It's been such a great learning adventure for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you said it, and I totally agree. All of that growth and learning, what you discover is even more potential in yourself. Stuff you're doing and
Yeah.
that you learn that you never knew you were capable of even
Yeah.
doing, And so, yeah, what you learn about yourself in that journey is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's so true. And I love what I do. I just love it, and I used to worry about that. And I think you and I even talked about this, a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
It was like so scary. It was so like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And now I look back and I think, what was I afraid of?
Yeah.
It's like, what was I afraid of? This is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love listening to other people and learning from the other person
Yeah.
because you always learn something.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to call you Reverend Linda or Sister Linda.
I don't know that there should be any, ministers out there worried I'll take their job. I don't think that will happen, but whatever.
Oh,
Thank you for
oh,
that because, um, I am spiritual and it is a part of who I am. And that would be, like if I didn't show that in how I show up, I
yep.
would feel fraudulent. So you can't run from who you are, you have to embrace all of those things that make you uniquely you. And
Yes.
spiritual just happens to be the one that, I love inspiring people. I love being an encourager. I mean, those things just float my boat. So there you have it.
I love it. And and I'm very spiritual and a lot of people don't know that about me. And there was one of your uh talks you did. I don't remember now how many weeks ago it was. You were talking about you had a revelation.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I do know
About
which
the
one you're talking about.
Trinity.
It was so
Yeah.
profound for me at the time. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the body, mind, and spirit. And boy, that really resonated with me. I really loved that, you
Well, thank
know.
you. That was just, and for those of you who are tuning in that don't know what we're talking about, I was doing my devotion time in the morning And I had a post about this in my Purpose Seekers group, but I was reading about the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And then I don't know if it was in the same piece or I don't recall now, but within minutes of reading about the Trinity, I saw the phrase body, mind, spirit. And I thought, I never really connected that
Mhm.
God is the mind, the visionary, the creator who thought up everything, and visualized everything as he created. And Jesus was the body who came to earth in human form, right? Representing that whole area. And then soul, of course, was the spirit and all things, that, involved with the soul, if you will. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was feeling off that week. And I realized there's a little mini Trinity within me too, the body, mind, spirit. And I knew in an instant when I looked at those three areas that it was my body that I had neglected that week. My mind was like crazy busy on a project I was working on, and spiritually I was still sound, but I had, not gotten enough sleep and I hadn't been eating properly at meals and I forgot to take my vitamins. I wasn't doing that consistently like I had been. And it occurred to me that that's such a great diagnostic tool,
Yeah,
if you look at it like a three-legged stool with overall well-being, the top of the stool, that stool can't stand up very long on just one of those three legs. If one of those legs is out of kilter, that stool cannot stand. And so I thought, oh my gosh, so I think I posed the question in my group, if you had to pick one of those three, which one needs some attention this week? And everyone could figure it out pretty quickly.
right.
So I thought, man, that is really a cool thing. If you're feeling off, what's been neglected? Which of those three, body, mind, soul, or body,
Yeah,
mind, spirit, however you phrase that. And yeah, it's just been very helpful as
yeah,
I've,
I loved it. I
well, thank you.
yeah, it was yeah, it resonated with me. I said, "Oh, I just that well, there you go.
Yeah.
See?"
Well, I wish I could tell you I'm that smart, but that was actually a big revelation from God as I was in my devotions. Yeah. It's when I'm quiet, finally, that
Yeah,
I can hear him. Yeah. I'm
exactly.
not quiet often enough to have him speak, but
Things come to me when things are quiet. Yes. Yeah. Not when it's
and that
chaotic.
is why I love the practice of gratitude and journaling. Like I'm such a big proponent of that. And it's
Yes.
because so much is revealed in silence and so much is revealed as we write. And then
Mm,
we have a written record to look back on. So yeah, I am a big proponent of journaling. I've kept a journal for years and years and years. And it's fun to really go back and see all the ways I've changed, all the ways that, God has led, all the prayers that were answered that I was worried about or concerned with, It's
right.
just such an amazing practice. So, yeah, I'm big on gratitude.
Well, that's why I asked for you to read your story.
Well, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
excited to share it. You want me to
sure.
do that now? I got the page marked, so it should.
Yeah.
And again, this is the book for those of you who, can you see that okay, Linda?
Yep, I sure can.
And yeah, this was such a fun project to be a part of. I'm so
Well,
grateful for that. And Linda's, of course, in here too. And um, your guest last week, Sabrina, was in it. And yeah, it's been so fun to get to know people through their stories too, as we've shared those. So in the book, we start with a quote, a favorite quote of ours, and then we just kind of write about the topic or this book topic, as Linda has shared, was sharing words of gratitude. And, we didn't have a lot of direction. It was sort of whatever spoke to your heart and whatever you felt like writing about. So this is what
exactly.
I wrote. So here's the quote. I quoted from Oprah Winfrey, who said, "The single greatest thing you can do to change your life today would be to start being grateful for what you have right now." So you're working with people on listing 5 things or, whatever your brain really likes to solve problems. So if you give it a number, top 3 or first five that come to your mind. It loves solving those things. So asking those questions as we write and journal is just very key to, stimulating our brain too. So here's what I wrote. I honestly owe my present life, a life filled with joy and meaning that I worked hard to create, to the simple practice of gratitude. And not just being aware and thankful for what I have, but actually taking intentional, purposeful time each day to be in silence and reflection, taking time to notice and express thanks each day and write it down. It wasn't always so. I learned through long seasons and tough times that I could find joy in the present despite my current situation. And I owe it all to the power of gratitude. One such time was a deep season of depression that lasted years. That's when I started the practice because nothing else seemed to work. I woke up each day and wrote, maybe just one thing I was thankful for. I started out with a phrase, a word, a doodle, anything that could help me find joy in the darkness. Some days I struggled to even find one thing, but gradually, over time, with practice and consistency, I began to understand the profound depth of meaning to my life this simple practice brings. And now my life has come full circle, and I'm blessed to be able to work with some amazing women to develop this practice in their lives too. And I am blessed beyond anything I could imagine just because I developed this simple practice. I hope you're encouraged to start today.
Yes, I loved your story. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, there's a quote. Um, listen, listen to silence. It has so much to say. Something like that. Can't
Yeah,
remember who wrote that, but yeah.
yeah. It's so true, isn't it? That it's in those quiet moments. I mean, we sometimes wonder, and I know we've all experienced this. You have finally have a moment to yourself, and it could be in a restaurant waiting for a friend, or often it's in the shower when that's probably the most time you're alone ever without, phones and whatever going off or somebody needing you for something. And you'll be in this zone where you get all these ideas.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
sometimes think I should have paper and a pen in my shower
Mhm.
because that's when I get my best ideas, or
Yeah.
those waking moments in the morning, when you're kind of half awake, half asleep, you're
Yep.
just moving into that state, you often get some clarity there. And the reason is because we're still,
Yes.
we're not distracted with noise. And so that practice of gratitude allows us to be calm and still, and
Mhm.
that's when we can hear that still small voice, and he whispers sometimes. He doesn't shout at us. And so we have to be quiet if we're going to hear it.
You say that is the time. I forget now what that state is where you're in between waking up and still asleep.
Yeah,
They call it something. Sabrina would know.
she probably would. Where is she when we need her?
I know.
Yeah, there is that state of half awake, half asleep.
Yeah, because it happens in the morning and it happens before you go to sleep.
Mhm.
And they say that's the time, like, you should be thinking of your affirmations and thinking about what you want, and stuff will start coming in. It's like
Yeah.
it's answering, the universe is talking to you, or when I say universe, that could be your God, it could be whatever you
Yep.
believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
that's
I
true.
think it's yeah, I love that. Now, you have something new up your sleeve that
I
you've been
do.
promoting.
I do, and I'm so excited about it. In my work with, women in this whole personal development, leadership development, arena, we often try to, especially those of us who are entrepreneurs who are looking to build teams and, advance in our businesses and stuff. What we do is we want to help people and we want to help them grow their business, but we haven't focused on our most important asset, and that is ourselves. We are the most important asset. And if we can't coach ourselves, if we can't lead ourselves, we're not going to be able to lead other people. So when we find ourselves in those places of being stuck and aimless and, a sense of overwhelm and everything seems so hard, and, we've all been in that space, it's often because you're focused on the wrong thing. You're not prepared as a leader for the growth that you want in your business. And so what I find when I'm working with my clients is, it's hard to be a solopreneur. It's just hard. You're alone. There's no one to, go, hey, good job, Linda, for that good thing you did today.
Right.
It's like, hey, world, and then there's no one there to celebrate you, and there's no one out there that, understands your struggles like other solopreneurs do. And so what happens is sometimes that time that we have for ourselves is fleeting. And so I wanted to create something where you could grow on the go, like that kind of take me with you, much like my podcasts were, Linda, if you remember that. It's like if you're
Mhm.
out on a walk, if you're waiting, at an appointment, if
Oh,
you're picking up kids, whatever, take me with you. And I'll give you a short little snippet of motivation or a tool that you can use or a perspective that you can, use to change your attitude, whatever that might be. And so that's how this Go on the Grow app, it's a coaching app that I've developed. And so I have some content in there, and it's like having a coach in your pocket, so I'm so excited. I don't know where we're going to go, but I'm looking for founders, some people who will help me launch it.
yeah,
And I'm asking them to stick with me for a year, which seems like a long time, but we want to test all the bells and whistles in this app. We want to grow together. We want to really look at what are the things that solopreneurs need the most. And I want it to be self-paced and individualized. And I'm going to be starting coaching using Voxer. Have you heard of Voxer, Linda?
yes. Yes.
And so, what I find in this deep inner work that you need to do, when you need to uncover, why am I stuck? Why am I still in this place? What's going on that I feel like I have everything I need and yet I'm not doing it? We've all been in that space. And so this deep inner work, I can't in a group coaching session go, okay, I want you to have your breakthrough by 4 o'clock on Friday when we meet, right? And
Yeah.
so I decided I'm going to try this Voxer coaching where you get the breakthrough and you can talk it out right there on Voxer, or you have questions that have come up from some of the exercises and the resources that I give you. Or, say just like you had that revelation about, or it really resonated with you in that Trinity, for example, that
Mhm.
inner Trinity, you just wanted to talk through, I think I'm off because I haven't been feeding my mind with positives or whatever that might be.
Right.
You get to talk into Voxer and share that right away. And then I can come back and respond at my convenience, just like respond at yours. And then we can have like an ongoing conversation that's almost like talking on the phone, but it's at a time that's convenient for both parties. So it'll be interesting. I've never
Yeah.
done coaching this way before. So we're going to give it a shot and see. These 20 people will be instrumental in helping shape that for, the next group of people that are coming up. So, yeah, I'm very excited about it. So thank
That
you for
is
asking me.
yes, yes. Yeah, I thought it was a clever idea. I really did.
But we'll see. Check with me in a year.
Yeah.
See if it's still clever. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm very excited because I think, we're all kind of just in time learners, aren't we? We have a need right now. Like I'm stuck right now. I have a really bad attitude right now. I need some kind of tip to get me out of this headspace I'm in right now, right? And so, yeah, this is going to be designed for getting that help that you need right at the time that you need it. So,
I love it. I think that's just yeah. I really thought it was a very clever. I thought, "Oh my goodness."
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I
I've
think
been thinking
people
about
will.
it for a long time, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything else, it took time to go from idea to, product. It always takes time, but yeah.
it's perfect for we're all so busy,
Mhm.
and it's really difficult to get on so many calls. And so this, you're just gonna streamline and make it so doable for somebody to learn at the same time be guided.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, and here's the thing that and you know this, Linda, in your work that you do with people too. I It's hard to ask ourselves the tough questions, you know?
Mhm.
And we have the answers deep within us, but we don't always know the questions to ask. So
Yeah,
when you have a mentor or a coach that can dig deep with you and ask you the right questions, you can come up with some very creative solutions. But
yeah,
you have to find what's in your way, what's blocking you. And often it goes back to, things from childhood, some beliefs that we hold about ourselves that really aren't true, but
mhm.
we've accepted that story as true. And so it takes some digging and it takes some work to get at that, but it makes such a difference when
It
you're
does,
freed from that. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and that's part of what I was gonna talk about tonight, when, um, how, we go through these periods where we're feeling sad. Sadness, uh, you know, it like it pops up out of nowhere,
Mm.
it just, s is that me? No, that must be you, maybe?
Oh, I think it is me. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So, I thought, I wanted to address that, because I was reading, your story, and I was thinking about Sabrina last week, with her story, and how it's so important to remember to allow, our feelings to play out, like maybe we have to go and cry. Um, maybe we just have to express ourselves in a different, everybody's different, and how they express their whatever it is that they're feeling, and like for you, you write. I think writing in a journal can be very therapeutic, you know?
Yeah, I often go for a walk.
Yep,
That also really clears my head, and again, it's silence again, I mean,
exactly.
I can listen sometimes I do listen when I go out for a walk to a podcast or something,
Yes,
where I wanna fill my mind with something, but sometimes, if I'm in the midst of something really challenging or really tough to get through, or I just need a break from it, it really helps for me to just go quick around the block and
yes.
clear my head a little bit, and then again, those ideas, that creativity can come through again.
Oh, absolutely. I know for me with this, I've been walking every day, and yeah, I sometimes I'll listen, to something. Um, Sometimes I listen to the rosary.
Mhm.
So I'll say the rosary on my walk. But it'll calm my brain. It's like sometimes
Yes.
too much going on, and it's like it's okay to cry, when you are feeling all these crazy emotions that are bottled up inside you. But I think sometimes it's just good just to get outside, get some fresh air, take a walk, and things just and talk it out sometimes, just talk it
Mhm.
out. And then you get the answers. You get
Yeah,
those answers because you are by yourself and you are being silent.
yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here in my office right now talking to you, and I still have a couple things I wanna get done yet tonight, so I have my diffuser going with a blend that, is a little bit more, like citrus and things like that to kinda keep you
Yeah.
stimulated brain, but sometimes that's what, we need to change our mood sometimes because I was kind of like, "Oh, I'm getting tired, and there's still a couple things," and I know if I sit with my diffuser and have a cool drink or whatever, it's gonna change my mood and will make me
Yeah,
it just changes,
that's
the
change your mood,
headspace
yes.
that you're in. Yeah.
Citrus oils are uplifting, yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
because, it's like when you're feeling those crazy emotions that are popping up, maybe from the past or, like you said, things from when you were small. Sometimes I think we wear that stuff um, as a badge of honor.
Mhm.
It's like an old friend we don't want to lose. So it decides to spend some time, with us.
Mm.
Um, so we allow those negative thoughts, to bring us down, and it really affects everything about ourselves. It affects how we think about ourselves, and how we address stress, even how we deal with friends and family, right?
Yeah.
And,
That's so true.
yeah, and it's like we bring it's like it's so hard sometimes to keep our emotional vibration up instead of down that ladder.
Yeah.
So yeah, so for me, yeah, like I meditate and I diffuse oil all the time. I
Mhm.
diffuse it, I sit, I breathe it. I
Mhm.
say thank you, for reminding me of whatever it is that's, taken up space in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even those experiences, that do limit you or those negative thoughts that you have,
Mhm.
sometimes we just need to shift our thinking. Gratitude can do that. And
Gratitude.
that is, I'm thankful for those tough experiences that I've had in my life because they've made me the person I am today. And we don't often embrace some of the bad stuff in our life either, but
Mhm.
having gone through it, like I tell people I'm actually grateful for the season of depression. It was long that I
Yeah.
went through, but oh my gosh, I learned a lot in that season. It was dark, but I went through that depression and then I worked really hard to get off meds, which I actually did do. And then my mom
Right.
died.
Yeah.
And I debated because my body took a long time to get off the meds. It didn't like going on and didn't like going off. But I came to understand that depression is different than sadness, and it's okay to feel sadness too. And
Yes.
so I didn't go back on meds, though I probably was still a little bit clinically depressed then, but I felt like I just needed to allow those feelings to be after she died, and that
Yes.
turned out to be a really healthy thing for me. And don't misunderstand, when I took the drugs, I needed the drugs too,
Well, yes, if you
they
need them,
have
you
a
need them.
purpose.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, it's like we forget we need to treat ourselves with kindness.
Yes.
We beat ourselves up over things, um, and we forget, like, would you say unkind things to your closest friend or to, a family member who you really love? No, you wouldn't do that. So don't do it to yourself. But we do. We
Right.
do that. I
It's
know.
so interesting that you mentioned that, Linda, because when I was going through talk therapy, they call that, and I went to a
Uh-huh.
therapist during those really dark moments. Um, I was saying things in my head to myself every minute of every day that I would never say to another person.
Another person, right?
My therapist said, "You know what you need to do? You need to," when you say I learned through writing, it's so true.
Hmm.
But what she taught me was write yourself a letter to
Yes.
Linda from Linda and tell yourself as your best friend what it is you like about yourself, how proud you are of the journey that you've been on and what you've learned. And that was like a whole new way of looking at myself, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And as we talk about gratitude tonight, how many of us have a hard time saying what we're thankful for about ourselves? Like,
Yeah.
what are we thankful for about us? And, often that feels like bragging. We're told as a, young child, don't boast, don't brag about yourself, but that's all what builds belief in ourselves and confidence too. And we're taught
Mhm.
that that's wrong, you can see why we don't do it enough. We
No,
aren't
we
grateful for who we are enough.
yeah. I have a I say to when I'm feeling, negative thoughts, I always say, "Thank you. I'm grateful for the reminder, but you may go now. I am fine, and I
See
am
ya.
willing to see love."
See
Yeah,
ya, don't wanna be ya, huh?
that's it. Um, Jack Canfield has, oh gosh, what is it? He has us write like a lot of like you make a card and you write all these wonderful qualities about yourself. And then you put that somewhere where you can see it every day. And then you look in the mirror and you say those things to yourself, all these wonderful compliments. And you thank yourself. Every night you say, "Geez, Linda, thank you. You had an awesome day today. You did great doing this." And you go on and on and on. It could be like 20 different things that you could write down, and you do that every night.
Wow, yeah, I like
It's
that
really
idea.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. So, and it's funny because when I first read this, and of course Shauna teaches this too, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I've been doing that for a long time. I must have read it somewhere and I just don't remember." But I would look in the mirror first thing in the morning and say, "Good morning. You're going to have an awesome day." I wouldn't do it at night. I would do it in the morning and say, "You're going to have an awesome day today. This is
Yeah,
going to be great. Okay, you're going to this and you're going to that." And I'd go through my spiel. And so it made me smile, when I had to do that with his program. But he has you doing it at night most of the time. Well,
yeah,
maybe he has it any time. I can't remember now. It's been too long, but
yeah,
yeah. But we do. We have to say, be kind to ourselves. We have to say some nice things, and remind ourselves that we're important.
mhm.
You
So
know,
true. That's the highest form of self-care. I know
exactly.
you and Sabrina talked about self-care last week, but,
Yeah.
that me time that we carve out, however we carve it out, whatever brings joy to our soul, we have to
You
have more of that
Yeah.
scheduled time. And if it's, grow on the go or taking a quick walk or sitting down with your favorite cup of tea, whatever that is, you need to do it and do it more. You just do.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
speaking of tea, uh,
Yes, ma'am.
so so one of the oils that I love that I chose for this segment today was bergamot. And there's a fun fact about this oil. So did you know that Earl Grey and Lady Grey tea use the rind of bergamot to flavor their teas?
I
As
did
well
not.
as and they use other citrus, but on the I was looking because they're my favorites. So the Earl Grey tea it says it right on here, it's a black blend, um, scented with a citrus bergamot flavor, and then I knew about oops, I'm trying to reach the Lady Grey. Love Lady Grey. So Lady Grey, has the rind of this one does yes, here it is. It's on the back. Orange and lemon peel with bergamot.
Hmm.
So I thought that was really I knew about this one because I don't know. It was a couple months ago. We did oh gosh, was that in the spring? We did Downton Abbey. And I
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and somehow when I was like Googling for information, this Lady Grey tea popped up. Some lady was a tea shop or something, and so she was saying, the different. I can't remember anybody's name from the movie. Isn't that funny? But each one had their favorite teas, and so Lady Grey tea was Oh, who was the head maid? Isn't that awful? I can't remember her
You know
name.
what? I'm hating to tell you, I'd never watched it, so I can't help.
Oh, gosh, you've gotta watch it. But anyway, I took a quiz and I was the head maid.
Oh, funny.
I know, it's
That's
really
awesome.
comical, I know. If I find that quiz, I'll send it to you.
That's funny.
We all did it, and then we dressed the part.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. It looked like a lot of fun. I
Oh,
just am not a in my house, my husband watches Andy Griffith, so I know Mayberry inside and out, but I don't know any of the new shows
that's
or
why we have 2 TVs in our house.
there you go. We have probably 4 TVs, but only one
Oh
that
gosh, so yeah, I got
tuned into Mayberry, so there you go.
football and that kind of stuff, yeah. So I was, like, really thrilled because I actually put, bergamot, I put lemon in my tea. So
Mhm.
I like citrus in my teas, certain teas, not all teas, but mostly in, the Earl Grey tea. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and but anyway, that oil is your go-to oil for feeling when you're feeling down.
Okay.
When you are sad or depressed or need help with grief, bergamot is the oil of self-acceptance.
Mm,
So, so it relieves feelings of despair, self-judgment, low self-esteem. It supports the individual in need of self-acceptance, self-love. It invites individuals to see life with more optimism. So, so I always read, something about the oil in this handy book. It's an old book. They have an updated one, but I haven't bought it yet. So it's emotional healing with essential oils. So any
nice.
so let me see. So bergamot also has a cleansing effect on stagnant feelings and limiting belief systems because of individuals' core beliefs of being bad, unlovable, not good enough. They may fear revealing their true thoughts and feelings. So, this oil's powerful cleansing properties generate movement in the energy system, which in turns brings hope. So, in this way, bergamot is a wonderful antidepressant, and that is also in the Advanced Oil Magic book. He says that it's an antidepressant. It awakens the soul to hope and offers courage to share the inner self, reigniting optimism and confidence in the self. It imparts true self acceptance, teaches individuals to let go of self judgment by learning to love themselves unconditionally.
Wow, you picked the perfect oil, huh?
I know. Well, I researched, because I like to pair, that's the thing, pairing an oil and a crystal with the story. And so then I looked for the crystals. And so we talked about amethyst last week,
Mhm,
and that's relieving stress and encourages inner strength and peace, which would be good here as well.
mhm.
Then I found clear quartz. And so, clear quartz. So let me see. My card says healing, peace, protection, spirituality. Um, so clear quartz aids in healing and spiritual growth, according to Tiny Rituals. Um, so it's also called. It's like encompassed in rock crystals. Now, if our lovely Colleen was on, she could probably tell us more. But I didn't know this, but rock crystals come in different colors. So this is one reason amethyst works so well with clear quartz. So they kind of pair together. And I didn't realize that both amethyst and clear quartz were in that umbrella rock crystals.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I learned that. Colleen would be so proud of me.
Yes, she would. And you
Yeah.
wanna know something really interesting as it relates
It
to these
Oh my gosh,
crystals?
it is.
I on that clear quartz, often, because my birthstone is diamond,
Oh, okay.
and so clear in the crystal world, it would be the clear quartz, right?
Yeah.
And my mom's birthstone was amethyst.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so
Yes,
here we are talking about those 2, my birthstone and her
yeah.
birthstone. Yeah,
Well, your stone, it brings you, uh, back to a sense of healing. I mean, balance. And it has all kinds of various health benefits that goes along with, physical healing.
hmm,
So it's, clearing the mind, encourages, positive vibrations, and helping with spiritual growth. So I thought that it
that's
was
awesome.
fitting, the
Yeah,
meaning, clear quartz, fitting with
yeah,
your story, because it stimulates bright feelings, boosts your immune system, um, and ensures that you are protected against negative energy and well equipped to make decisions and understand your inner desires and finding your joy. I just
that's
I
really
just
cool.
thought it was so cool. Yeah. Yeah,
Very cool.
I really did some research to find the right stone, because there's a bunch out there, but I really wanted to find, the right one. And it's connected to your crown chakra. So this helps clear and opens the mind to higher potential, and that yeah, so yeah.
That's
There you
really
go.
interesting. Well, thank you. Yeah, I learned a lot.
I know. I learn a lot just by researching. So, and it's funny because I had said last week, to Sabrina, because she is just a wealth of information, and she's always like quoting some scientist. I thought, oh Lord, I don't have time for that. So I thought, I do say, when I'm, okay, I found this with tiny rituals. Okay, this came from this book. So I thought, well, wait a minute, I do that.
Yes, you do. That was very informative. I love it.
It's fun, yeah. So, oh my gosh, this was such a fun time. So I have a couple footy notes for people to mark their calendars because Thanksgiving falls on Thursday. We will meet on December 1st with our guest Julie Fairhurst, who is
That will be fun too.
yes, I thought so. So I thought I'm not going to worry about next Thursday. I was going to, put something in there, and I thought, no, it's Thanksgiving. Everybody can go and have fun with their families, and yeah. And
Perfect day to talk about gratitude on Thanksgiving, huh?
no, yeah. Well, I just thought, who's going to get on? And I
Well,
thought,
no, I meant they can do that apart from you. It's
yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
So I thought I'll put her for December, and she's excited. And then December is all up. I'm just filling December with a lot of different fun surprises. Just yeah, it's just going to be fun. And and I always tell people, remember it's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. Oh my gosh, I've got that down packed, ladies.
Yay.
I know. So, oh my gosh, thank you. I am so grateful. I mean,
Well, thank you, Linda.
genuinely,
This was awesome. And thank you for letting me talk about my app. I am really excited about it and
yes, I am too. I'm
wait
so
to see what
happy.
happens.
Yeah, I know. I'll be following you and checking it out.
All
That's
right.
so yes. Okay, everyone. Thank you. I know you'll be getting on to see the replay and enjoy the rest of your day or evening. And don't forget to spread kindness throughout your day. I love you all. This was really awesome.
Thanks,
Okay.
Linda.